Hey friends, welcome back to our weekly tarot reading. Today we're going to be giving you messages on what to expect for the week ahead. So we're going to pull for all of the zodiac signs. We're going to go individually. So if you are watching this in post, you can go down to the description section and find your sun, moon, and rising signs. We'll also have a collective message at the end. And if there's any time left over, I might be doing some collective readings as well, or some personal readings if you want one. So we're going to get right started with Aries. So Aries, what can you expect for the week ahead? Aries, you are juggling some things this week, right? Isn't it always the juggle? I feel that is the case. So what are you juggling? You are balancing between forces today. So there's something going on this week where you are needing to make sure that you're getting the right balance in life. And that balance is between living in your own truth and understanding what you need and having a great day, a great time in your own being, in your own ability. Hey, welcome, Preston. I'm so glad you're here. And it's the one time you have food poisoning. Oh no, I'm so sorry you have food poisoning. I hope that you feel better soon. That sounds really rough. Okay, so we're in Aries. Aries, so you're juggling between the sun, having a bright, beautiful day ahead of you, but then also kind of with the Seven of Swords, you're kind of juggling between that and your own sort of what other people are saying, right? People raining on your parade, people being like, oh, look at them, they're having all the fun, and like other people raining in on your good time. So this week might be a juggle of that. Kristen, welcome. Hello, what's up? Nice to see you. All right, everybody's making it in today. It's great. So Aries, I think that you are juggling between those forces and trying to figure out what do you want between those two things, right? So I think maybe because it's a juggle between that, first of all, I think the biggest thing for you, if you're dealing with other people and you're dealing with maybe some naysayers in your life, is to hold on to the compassion for yourself and for others too. Like understanding where sometimes people are naysayers, where that comes from. It's not necessarily something personal. Maybe a lot of times when other people are giving off negativity or, saying mean things, sometimes a lot of times that means way more about what's going on with them inside of their own processes and way less than what it has to do with you, right? Because if you watch those kind of people, you'll see that you're not the only one that they're doing that to, right? They're doing it to everybody. So there's something going on inside of them that's, really intense. And maybe you can hold compassion for that without, obviously taking care and protecting yourself first. That's very, very important. But if you can go within and protect your own self first to make sure that you're feeling good, you're sharing compassion with yourself, then at the second hand, you can have some compassion for those other people as well, understanding that they're coming from a place that's distant, and maybe a different place than where you're at. And that's okay too sometimes, right? So just holding on to that compassion, holding on to that bright sun energy no matter what, and making sure that you're balancing the forces in your life. I think as long as you continue to do that kind of work, I think that you're going to have a great week ahead of you. And don't let anybody rain on your parade. Remember that has way more to do with them than it has to do with you. So anyway, that was for Aries, sun, moon, and rising signs. I hope you have an excellent week ahead. We're going to move on now to Melissa. Hello, welcome. All right, everybody's in today. This is great. I'm so excited. I got a new tarot deck for Christmas that I'm using today, which is pretty cool. It's like a vintage late 90s, early 2000s, like Barnes and Noble deck or whatever that I love. It's so fun. It's so great. All right. So who's next? We've got Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. We do too. Oh, nice, Melissa. That's awesome. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising signs. What do my Tauruses need to expect this week? What's going on for you, Taurus? Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Taurus. All right. So for my Tauruses this week, you are okay. Okay, Taurus. I think that you might be overthinking some things this week. So be careful of anxiety and overthinking energy. Maybe there's some things going on in your life that might be a little overwhelming. Now, take all this as it resonates, right? If this doesn't feel like you, that's fine. Remember to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All will give you a little bit of a leeway of where to go. So just keep that in mind. But there's a possibility this week that you're overthinking things a little bit too much and you might be spiraling a little bit. So let's pull back our energy this week, right? Make sure that you're getting enough rest and you're getting enough recuperation energy so that this overwhelming thought process doesn't take you on a loop beyond where you really want to be, right? So how do you do that? Well, you're being given, first of all, this card here, the safety card. Now, sometimes it means being a little bit too safe, right? Holding on a little bit too close. But sometimes it's there. I take this as a sign to tell you that you are in fact safe, right? So particularly when you spiral off into these anxiety things, it's important to remember that this is a product of the mind. And that's important, right? This is a mind situation going on and not necessarily a physical one. And so that's something to keep in mind, that if you do start to spiral down any kind of negativity or any kind of anxiety or overthinking or, thinking about, well, what if this happens and what if that happens and what if this happens, right? Well, it's important to remember that the what ifs are just what ifs, right? Just what ifs. Kristen, Taurus rising, overthinking is my middle name. Yeah, I feel you. I do the same thing. Honestly, I overthink everything. So it's just important to keep in mind that, they're thoughts. And first of all, it's also important to remember that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that exists behind the thoughts. So that's something where maybe a mindfulness practice could be really helpful for you this week for my Tauruses. What is mindfulness? It's becoming aware of the mind, becoming aware of the movements of the mind, of the thinking processes, of how the mind is working, and not letting the mind take you down fully those rabbit hole pathways that could be detrimental to you, right? It's about coming back to the present moment. So that's, I think, what's really important for you. You have the Devil card, which is why I'm going so deep into this. And so the Devil card, though, it's not necessarily a card that represents actually being in any kind of real danger. It talks about the bad habits that we have, the negative habits and cycles that we put ourselves through and that we fall along the pathway for, right? So this is an important message here coming in to let you know that this week you might be visited by the ghosts of bad habits past, right? And so if that happens, it's okay. Remember, it's the mind, right? So you don't have to let the mind take you on a trail going down these bad habits, right? It's just a temptation, and no, bad habits can be anything. It could just be like overeating energy, or, it could be, dialing up your ex, or it could be, any of those kind of little things where you're like, I know that I shouldn't be doing this, but here I am doing it anyway, right? So it's important to remember too, that as those kinds of things happen, don't be really hard on yourself, because that just puts you down this cycle even more, right? You got to share compassion with yourself. So if you're in a situation like that, really do try to share some compassion with yourself. Try to come back to a place of inner, love and showing compassion. But, sometimes compassion means cutting through things too. So with the Queen of Swords here, Taurus, you have the power and the tools at your disposal to cut through any of that stuff and to cut out anything in your life that might be detrimental or might not be helpful. So just keep that in mind, that you have the power at your disposal and in your capacity to cut through any kind of negativity, cut through any kind of situation that's not doing you very well, and move into a positive place. But I just want to remind you, before we move on, remember you are safe here. You have the safety card. So don't worry too much about this. This is all about the mind. It's less about your physical space and more about the mind and coming back into a place of resonance within yourself in this present moment. So anyway, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, I hope that's helpful. That's just one aspect of your week this week, and it could be very, very small, right? It could just be one 5-minute worry session that we're talking about here. So just keep that in mind, and check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for a more complex feeling of the week energies ahead for you. So we're going to move on now to Gemini. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. What's up for our Geminis this week? Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. Preston says, isn't there a whole song, Mind Games or something, that talks about that energy? Yeah, for sure. Who sings that? John Lennon? Is that a John Lennon song? I think so. Okay. All right. All right, Gemini, what's up for you this week? Oh, you got a lot of cards. Okay, that's fine. All right, Gemini. So, Gemini, you are in the King of Pentacles this week. So this is great. Your physical world around you is setting up this week to be in a really positive place, which is great. The King of Pentacles is able to he's able to hold his own in his physical world, his physical spaces. You know, he feels comfortable in his home. He feels comfortable in his job. He feels like he's able to make things happen. He's able to grow things into the world, and he's healthy. He's happy in his physicality. So this week for my Geminis, this is a week where you're really in your strength in the present, in the physical, which is interesting because of course Gemini is an air sign. So this is kind of out of your element a little bit this week, but you're feeling a little bit extra safe and secure in the physical, which is great. So what is that going to lead to for you? It's leading to this opportunity for you to share with others. I think you're going to be in a position where you're going to be able to share some of that stability and peace, giving you. Quandala, hello. Are you still in South Korea? No, right now I am in Portland, Oregon. So I'm in the US for a while now. Welcome, Quandala. Welcome back. And yeah, I'm going to be in the US for a while. I'm not sure exactly where I'm landing yet, but I'm bouncing around the West Coast right now and seeing what happens with family and friends. And I'm going to end up somewhere soon, so I'll keep you posted for sure. But anyway, with this card for my Geminis, I think you're going to be in a position to really help other people too, which is pretty great. So take the time this week if you have the capacity. If you don't have the capacity, I think these two together is going to it's going to say that in some capacity in your physical world, you're going to be able to help someone in need. But it's what you feel comfortable with and how you can do it. This is not about over giving or giving too much, but I do think you're going to be in a position where you'll be able to help somebody in some way because you're moving up and you're moving on. So you're moving into a new phase this week, Gemini, as well, because I think you're so secure in something that you're moving on to the next level. And that level could be, this is also feeling a little bit in a teaching capacity. So you might have some lessons that you've learned that this week you're able to help others with and give back a little bit more. You might have the opportunity to do that this week more than you have in the past. And that's something to keep in mind, that you have the ability at your disposal to help others in some capacity with your knowledge as you've gained to the next level in your life. You've moved on from certain lessons, and that has given you the ability to give back to others in a really positive way. And let's see what else we've got. We got the Three of Swords, which is cutting through something. Well, let's go back to that. It's funny with the art, sometimes it's hard for me to remember. Kristen says, loving this for our other Gemini sister. Sounds like her cup is actually getting filled instead of just putting herself out. She can give freely and comfortably, which she loves. Yeah, I do feel that. I think that this is a week for Geminis where it's really, you're being able to give from a place where you actually have the capacity to do it and you're not being taken from. I think this is giving freely. With the Six of Wands, this is the victory card. So Geminis, this is an excellent week for you. You're feeling victory. And I think that victory is able to be shared with everybody else around you, which is really wonderful. So you have the ability to share that with others. And you're moving out of a place of heartbreak. That's what this one is. The Three of Swords here is the heartbreak card. So I think you're moving away from that, right? So I think a part of where this is coming up and on from and the sharing from others is maybe you're finally moving on from a cycle where you were recovering from some kind of heartbreak. Now take it as it resonates for you. If you're in the middle of a heartbreak, this could be some future energy. If you're not in a heartbreak at all and you've never been ever before, then, take it as it resonates and maybe this isn't quite the right one for you. But, either way, I do feel like you're finally moving up and maybe moving on from that. And that might be a part of where this energy of being able to share with others comes from, because you're not so focused on trying to heal the inner self here. And now you're able to kind of like rebalance those relationships on the outside and be able to kind of feel this sort of reciprocal energy from a place that isn't blocked off from a place of like trying to overheal and stuff. Kristen says it was a friendship for her, the heartbreak, but it needed to happen. Okay, yeah, that happens, and people grow in and out of relationships and friendships and stuff, and it can be really hard and challenging. But I do feel like this is a moment where, maybe this is rekindling of new friendship for my Geminis out there as well, or bringing back in some older friendships that you haven't been in a while, but people that you love. It's like reaching out to loved ones and having that kind of inner compassion going on. Finally, you have the Page of Wands, so you're also a student energy as much as you're a king in the physical world this week, Gemini. So I think you're feeling so secure in the world around you that you have the opportunity to really learn some new things and to have a new perspective as well. So a part of this new leveling up moment for my Geminis is coming into a new perspective and learning how to see things from a new way and being able to take that new perspective and give it to others around them as well. That this is a reciprocal kind of energy, that you're able to share all of this stuff here based on where you're at now, and being able to take what you've learned and give to others. And this new perspective can be helpful, not just for you, but for everybody around you. So anyway, Gemini, I hope that that's helpful, and I hope you have an excellent week ahead. That was a cool reading. We're going to move on now to Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Let me just do a quick shuffle. And welcome to everybody who's in the chat. We got a lot of people today, which is great. I'm trying this new thing where I don't give this video a cover and just seeing what YouTube puts on it, and it might be more helpful, I think. I think it's my cover. The channel's cover photo is the thumbnail, and I think that that's helpful. All right, so Cancer. What do my Cancers need to know? One more. Nope, no more. Okay, Cancers, you only get 4. That's fine. All right, Cancer, what's going on with you this week? All right, Cancer, you've got the 8 of Wands, which is swift, fast-moving energy, and this is being depicted as a wheel, and this is the wheel of samsara, which is important. So we'll go into that symbolism because it's here. It's not always there, but in this deck it is. So, this is fast, swift-moving energy for you, and I think that it's moving through the cycles of samsara, which maybe you're finally getting to the place in the middle, which is a place of balance. So if you don't know, samsara is kind of a Buddhist concept. It might be a concept in Hinduism as well. I'm not very familiar with Hinduism, but samsara is the cycles of ups and downs. And it can be used as a metaphor, or it can be taken literally. If you take it literally, it's like lifetime after lifetime coming back into rebirth. And sometimes you're up on top in the God realm. But even if you're in the God realm, you're still on the wheel. So you fall down to the hell realms, and then you go back up again to the God realm, right? And it's that up and down cycle that in Buddhism, the point of nirvana is to escape this cycle, right? That even the being on the top, tippity top, is not a great place to be either, because eventually you will fall back down to the bottom. And so the place to be is actually in the middle, and coming back into the middle is the place to be. And that's what a human lifetime gives you the ability to achieve in Buddhist philosophy. Now, you don't have to necessarily take that as literal. You can also use this as a metaphor for your own life, right? That life goes through these ups and downs, and not getting lost in the downs or getting lost in the ups puts you in a much more balanced position to be able to be here and now in the present moment. And so you might be coming to a point now where you're able to do that this week a little bit, Cancer, which is pretty cool. Now, you have the Knight of Wands. So the movement that's happening for you, we got lots of Wands energy. Kristen says Cancer got cards flying out, and it is true. This is really true. I think you got some very swift moving action going on, because that's what this card means traditionally in tarot. And it's movement happening in your inspirations, in your drive. So I think that you're feeling really inspired to take action towards something that you're passionate about this week, Cancers. And so this is a great opportunity this week for you to really go out there and do it, to put yourself out there and try to make some things happen. Really allowing yourself to do that, I think, is going to be really helpful in moving forward. Now, you have the 6 of Swords, which is talking about moving on as well. This is moving on from a past situation of difficulty and moving back into a place of peace and calm. This is tranquil waters after difficult situations. So I think whatever movement is happening for you is bringing you into a more calm place. And that calm place is going to help you come into a place of more clarity, I think, as well, because we had that samsara. I think that this is an opportunity for you to have a lot more clarity in your life, And that clarity, I think, is going to help you feel more balanced and feel more aligned with yourself. Now, okay, all right. Five of Pentacles is the Dark Night of the Soul card. So I do think that you are coming out of the Dark Night of the Soul period potentially as well, because of how these cards seem really powerful. And Preston is saying that it resonates big time. Yeah, I totally understand that. So with this Five of Pentacles energy, you know, this is a period where you go through some difficult things in your life, and it's up to you, you know, what you take from those. Now, I want to be really clear, like, when difficult things happen to you, we don't have to pretend like they're good things. And that's really important, first of all. Like, um, terrible situations, especially when you're in them, are just terrible situations, right? And we can leave them at that. They don't have to be good. They don't have to be bad. They just are. And actually, they can be bad, right? And we can accept that and be with it and understand that, you know, terrible things are terrible, right? And I'm not here to tell you that, like, oh, it was needed and necessary. Like, no, sometimes it's not, right? Sometimes, you know, we go through things that are totally random and not necessary and are cruel, and it feels cruel. So if you've been through difficult things like that, I just want to, I have to preface that with this card, because I think it's really important to acknowledge that, so that you don't feel like cheapened at all by your experiences and these messages. Because on the other side of this, though, is that there are things you can gain from them. So it's not to say that you have to go through difficult situations. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that we can create a world without suffering together, and that would be a much better world for all of us, right? So I don't want to advocate suffering, because that's stupid, right? It's suffering is terrible, and the goal should be to try to eliminate that for everybody if we can. Now, that being said, if you go through those difficult situations, you can gain a certain amount of wisdom and growth and spiritual growth from those periods. But it's up to you, right? Not everybody can gain that kind of wisdom. And you can gain spiritual wisdom in many ways. So you don't just have to go through suffering in order to do that. So, you know, it's not to say like that suffering is this pious thing. And I think that we can get lost in that in the spiritual world sometimes, you know, by thinking that way. And so that's why I have to preface that with this card, that it's not always about that specifically. But what this card to me says is that if you are in those places, you can get something from it, right? Where it's like, it's not that you had to go through it, but it's like, oh, if life is going to be kicking me while I'm down, I might as well get something out of the process to help me on my way back up, right? And that's kind of what this card talks about. It talks about how sometimes we can be at our lowest moments, and that low is actually something that unlocks this kind of spiritual connectivity, that is this like deep, powerful force that can allow us to jump start ourselves in the opposite direction. And for whatever reason, Cancer, I think that you have a little bit of an opportunity for that this week, where you're able to swiftly jumpstart yourself into that new direction. And I think because this is a New Year's reading as well, I think this is a little bit of some messages of where your year is going. I think that you're helping yourself move back into that place of balance. And remember, right, it's not about going from high to low to high to low to high to low. It's about trying to find a middle. It's finding the middle path, which is so important. There's that story. It's so funny because I was just watching. I have a 7-year-old niece, and we were watching Bluey. I don't know if you've ever seen that cartoon show with the dogs. They're really cute. But they were talking about this Buddhist message, which is really funny. I've heard this before talked about in another story, but it's basically the story of there's these townspeople in a village, and that's my little blue thing, Kristen. That's great. Yeah. So there's this village where there's a man who, I can't remember the story fully, so if I butcher it, I'm sorry. But there's a village, right? Let's say there's a village, and there's a big earthquake or something, right? And so something really terrible happens, and there's an earthquake, and things start knocking over in the village, and it's really terrible. And I was like, oh, look at this horrible thing that happened to you. And this one man goes, well, no, we'll see, right? We'll see if it's terrible. We don't know. And then as the story progresses, then a horse comes out of the woods that was released from a village a long way away, and comes and wants to live at the house with the man. And so the village is like, wow, look at this beautiful horse has come into your life spontaneously. It's so incredible. It's so amazing. Look at that. And the man says, well, we'll see. We'll see. Right? Who knows? Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. We'll see. And then something else happens where the horse gets really sick, and the man has to care for a sick horse, and it's taking up all of his time and energy. And the village is like, oh, this horse is so terrible for you. It's such a bad thing. And the man says, we'll see. Right. And then it just keeps going from there. Right. So it's like this, I didn't say that totally right, but you get the idea, right? So that's the cycles of samsara, right? The up, the down, the up, the down, the up and down. And that's kind of what life does, right? And so it's about coming to the middle place that we'll see, we'll just being open to what happens either way in the middle, regardless of the ups or the downs. That actually helps you come to a place of inner peace and tranquility that can help you for anything that happens in your life. And that's why I like Buddhism, is because it's all about that. It's like been very helpful for me, but that is what it is for you. Melissa says that was great life advice for all of us. All right, great. I'm glad you like that, Kristen. Beautiful segue. Okay, nice. All right, so Cancer, I hope you have an excellent week ahead, and we're going to move on. So next up, we have Leo, and I always forget Leo, so apologies to my Leos for forgetting you a couple weeks ago. I've remembered you since, but we're going to get into Leo now. What do my Leos need to know? Apologies for this table. It's a little unbalanced. Okay, Leo. What's going on with Leo? Leo. All right. Okay, Leo. Leo, this week is about justice for you. So the more balancing energy, I think balance might be one of the themes for the week for all of us. So go ahead and we'll talk about that for our collective message, I think, this week, that we're in a position right now of really balancing forces together and making sure that we are in a place in life where we're feeling comfortable, where we're feeling like we can make things happen, where we're not pushing too hard. I think that's one message for my Leos this week. Don't push too hard this week. But also, though, this is more about like karmic justice too. This is about balancing the forces of life on a bigger, more cosmic level. So I think there might be some things coming into your life this week that are really big in helping you move to the next level for yourself. And I think it's coming with this 10 of Pentacles card. It's coming in abundance. So something that you've been working on for a long time, or something that you put in work in a long time ago that never really saw results, that energy is being given back to you in a new way this week. And it's in the Ace of Wands. It's coming in a place of inspiration and ideas, and coming from a place of feeling passion and fire under your step, in being able to push forward in a new direction. Kristen says, oh Lord, you have no idea. Yeah. Okay. That's great. I'm glad this is resonating. That's awesome. So, you really do have that reciprocal energy coming back from things that you put in the past. Now, this could be directly a project or situation or thing that you did before, but with the ace, it is kind of talking about new energy. So if it is something that you did in the past, this is doing it in a new way. This is doing things a little bit differently. So that's important to keep in mind as well, that there is something new about this energy. This is about potentially a new start in something inspiring, but it's something that's going to bring you an incredible amount of abundance. So that's great. This could be shifting jobs, changing the way that you work in some way. This could be, and it's important to remember with abundance too, it's not just about money. So that's something to keep in mind. This is also about physical abundance in the sense of, having a stable home environment, of having good health, of, having stability in your life in all areas. And so there is something coming in where you're able to finally maybe rebalance some of that stability in a way that maybe in the past has been a little bit unstable, that this week is bringing you some opportunities to put into your life a little bit more. And that could be, like I was saying, with the new year here this week, it could be a little bit of some New Year's messages as well, in that of helping you, something that you begin this week, and this could be some New Year's resolution energy coming in too, but some things that you set in motion this week could be helpful into the future of really, bringing you justice as well. And that could be it as well, as that's the energy that you put in now could be reciprocated for you in the far future as well. So it's important to put in that energy when and where you can, because it could really lead to some powerful things for you moving forward. Now, you also have the King of Cups energy here. So with the King of Cups, you're really in your wheelhouse to share compassion with yourself and those around you. So I think that it's important to make sure that you are being really kind and gentle with yourself this week, because that has a lot of power and weight for you in moving yourself forward. Kristen says that has literally been the conversation, bringing in stability. Even though I love my current job, it's not enough, and I feel a lot of guilt potentially leaving, but I have a great opportunity. All right. Yeah. So follow those opportunities. I can understand that of, needing to, you feeling bad about leaving a situation, particularly if you're really important there. But, you do need to keep yourself in mind too. I think that's important. And, make sure, especially if it doesn't feel like you have enough, then you might need to find more, and that's okay too. That's okay. People have to do that. All right. So with the King of Cups here, you do have a lot of compassion. So I think that's a big part of it too, is make sure you're sharing that compassion with yourself, and make sure that you are, meeting your own needs and being honest with yourself about what your own needs are, and that it's okay to have needs that go beyond the scope of what your current situation is, and that you have the power and ability at your disposal to move through things and change things when you need to, and that's okay. And finally, you have the Four of Cups. So the universe is really giving you a gift here. And I think it's been really hard for you to see that. So really allow yourself to take into consideration the gift that's here ahead of you, because it's really going to give you something special. So be open to the special things coming into your life that are coming from outside of you. And that these aren't things that have to push, you have to push on. They're gifts that are coming in that are really beautiful and wonderful. And you have the ability to tune into those and bring them into your life and allow them in. So Leo, I hope that that's helpful. Kristen says, yes, I'll be nice to myself about it. I need to hear this so much. I already made the choice, but I struggle to feel great about it. All right. Yeah, I can understand that. But share compassion with yourself through this process for sure. All right, Leos, I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have an excellent week ahead. That was a good message. I think you're going to have a good week here. So really tune into that. We're going to move on now to Virgos. All right. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising signs. What do our Virgos need to know this week? Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Virgo. Okay. All right, Virgos, what do you need to know? Okay, so for my Virgos, we've got the Emperor card. So Virgos, you are in your wheelhouse this week. So I think that's really important to keep in mind, that you have all of the tools and power at your disposal to move through life in whatever way you need to. And you can feel free this week to move in those directions, regardless of what other people have to say or have to think. This week is all about you focusing on you, right? Because you also have the Nine of Cups, which talks about, this can be a self-love card sometimes. It can be about feeling proud of yourself. It can be about making achievements on your own and being comfortable with getting the rewards that come from solo achievements, right? And being okay with doing well, even if the people around you don't like that you're doing well, right? And that can be something to keep in mind too. Who's around you telling you that they're not happy with you doing well? And that could be something to keep in mind, of putting up some boundaries with other people too, right? It's okay to do well, as long as you're not, hurting other people around you, right? You should cherish the things that you do well. Your triumphs, you should have joy for, and you should allow yourself to feel that it's not hurting somebody else for you to feel good about yourself. In fact, by you feeling good about yourself, you put yourself in a position to be able to make other people around you feel good as well, right? So it's just about, making sure that you're allowing in that thing, because if you block your own abundance and your own joy, that's not helping anybody around you at all. So just keep that in mind. Now, with the Emperor card as well, I think that you might be needing to make some moves and some changes in life, Virgo. and be open to that. These are changes and things that you know that you plan, right? So, excuse me, with the Emperor card, he is in control of his own destiny, and not just his, but an entire empire's destiny. So he makes all of the chess moves on the board to put himself in the exact position that his empire needs to move forward. So what is the empire of your life like this week, and how can you make some choices and decisions and movements, Virgo, that can help you along your path moving forward? How can you bring in more success and more triumphs and more joy into your life? And this could be about making some moves to make that happen. With the Two of Wands, this card is about journeying. This is about maybe inward journeys or external journeys. So travel could be big for you this week. Making movements in the physical world could be huge for you. So if you have any kind of movements that you want to make, with that Emperor card as well, this could be a week of you making those decisions. This could just be travel. This could be actual moving. So keep that as it resonates for you. It's not for everybody, obviously, but if you've been thinking about moving for a while, this might be a great week to start planning that and planning how that could even work. What feasibly does that mean to you? Where can you make some movements and adjustments in your life in order to bring that forward, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Now, with that Two of Wands energy as well, you have the ability to bring in a lot of abundance and joy and possibility into your life here too. So keep that in mind as well, that there is a lot of really wonderful good things coming in. And don't listen to the naysayers. You have that Seven of Swords card that I was talking about it anyway. So this is great. I love it when that happens, because like I start channeling these messages and the cards just confirm the words coming out of my mouth. So excuse me, as a tarot reader, that's one of the best things to feel, I think. So don't listen to people who are trying to bring you down, right? That could be a part of where this moving on energy comes from too. As for my Virgos out there, who are you surrounding yourself with? Now, this doesn't mean you have to leave all of your friends and family behind. I'm not telling you that at all. But there could be some people around in your life that, are not being very helpful to you and don't want to see you have success. And so if you have those kind of people in your life, you can put up stronger boundaries with those people. You don't have to just walk away from friendships, but you can be like, I don't want to spend as much time with this person because they're very mean to me when I'm doing well and I want to do well. And so this is just having the courage and the knowledge to know that you can do well and have joy for your own success. And anybody telling you differently is not necessarily somebody with your best interest at heart, and that you can still love these kinds of people. And Christina, I am not leaving my children and I don't need success. That's fine, Christina. I'm definitely not telling you to leave your children. If you have people that you are responsible for, there is no way that you should ever leave them, right? No way, no way. If your children are bringing you down, though, that's something that you can start to work on a little bit too, because they're your children, right? So you have the power to help teach them that, we can all be joyful and bring ourselves up together, that we can all be successful together, right? And success means many different things. You can be a successful parent and feel really loving and stable in life without having to leave your children. So Christina, I'm definitely not saying to leave your children behind. That I would never say that. This is talking about certain people that might be, particularly friendships. I think friendships are kind of the biggest place that I'm feeling this kind of energy, is sort of saying that if you have friends in your life that are bringing you down, you can put stronger boundaries up without even leaving those friendships, right? That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to leave your friends behind either, but you can be like, this person really doesn't like to see me doing well. And I can see that because they feel a little bit bad. They feel jealous. We're doing this comparison game and I don't want to do that anymore. So, what I'll do is maybe I'll just make sure when I'm hanging out with this person, maybe I'm only hanging out with them with a bunch of people. And maybe I just don't bring up the subject that I'm doing well in my pottery business or whatever, right? And I just don't want to bring that up with them anymore. And that's one of my boundaries. My boundary is I don't bring up my projects with certain people anymore because I don't like the way that they talk to me about it, and it derails my own good feelings, right? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about here. Now, if you do have somebody who's really terrible in your life as well, not your kids, right? But like, particularly a friendship, some kind of relationship that isn't necessarily big. But of course, with family relationships too, that's obviously something you need to keep in mind with your own dynamics. Take it as it resonates for you. But you might need to put up even stronger boundaries with certain people if all they do is bring you down and they're really mean, right? Keep that in mind. Now, your life. Don't leave situations that you can't and you don't want to. That would never say to do that. So anyway, everybody, Virgos, sun, moon, and rising, I hope that that's helpful. I think you have a real strong chance of journeying into something different, and for some people, I think that it could be an opportunity to move, right? There could be some real movement energy going on there. So keep that in mind. And I hope that this resonates for all of you. Virgo, that's my reading for you. We're going to move on. Next up, we've got... who's next? Kristen says, success is subjective to what you want. I love you and your babies at Christina. Yeah, definitely. We're sending lots of love to Christina and your kids for sure. Definitely. As a parent, you have a really wonderful opportunity to teach your kids, how to be joyful, loving people. So you have that opportunity ahead of you. Next up, we have Libra. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. What do my Libras need to know? All right, Libra, you got a bunch of cards. Okay, Libra. So we got some double messages here from some others. So another, nice. Another thing to keep in mind for my Libras, this is going to be similar to the Taurus message. I think you got a couple of extra cards. So Libra, let's start off with it. You got the devil card this week. So like I said with Taurus, the devil is not necessarily something that's super scary. It doesn't have to be. It just talks about bad habit energy. It talks about the repeated patterns in our life that we continue either A, without thinking, right, in ignorance, that we have patterns that we continue in life in ignorance that we don't even see, or patterns that we know that we shouldn't be doing anymore, but we continue because it's easy or because we fall into that sort of thing. Bad habits. It could be anything. Negative self-talk can be a bad habit. It can be overeating energy. It can be extreme, right? For some people, it could be drugs or, drinking or, those kinds of things, right? Addiction energy, not for everybody. Please take that as it resonates. Not everybody's dealing with that. This can be the little tiny little naggy things in the back of our head too. It can mean a lot of different things. So I think for my Libras this week, I think you're going to be coming face to face with some of those things in your life a little bit. So just keep that in mind and keep yourself feeling good about yourself, because there's a lot of really great cards here for you. So I think that's important to remember. And this could be about moving on from those bad habits as well. So this could be an opportunity for you to finally move on from this kind of energy that sometimes too, we're kind of given like the final battle, right? The final boss that we have to defeat in these bad habit energies. Sometimes that happens, and then as soon as we move through that to prove that we've made it through the lesson, it moves us into the next level. So you have the Four of Pentacles, which is coming in to let you know that you are safe here. So I think, Libra, it's important to remember that you are safe, right? Sometimes this means holding things a little bit too close, but I think with that devil energy, it's just a reminder to let you know that there is safety in your life right now. So don't feel too scared of that energy, because ultimately you have the sun this week, which is bright, beautiful energy. So for my Libras, even if you are dealing with moving beyond some bad habits, right? This, by the end of the week, I think you're going to be feeling this bright new day energy, which is excellent. This bright, beautiful, shining new day ahead of you. So you have so many opportunities to move forward from a place of joy that you can feel really good about yourself and about your life. And, with the star here, this talks about, coming out of a period of darkness into the bright shining moment, right? This is the light of the stars at night. So even in the darkest of days, you can come into a sense of beauty and joy for yourself. So I think that that's a real opportunity with the sun and the star together here. I think that you're overcoming some difficulties this week. And so but the beginning of the week or sometime this week, you might be doing, like I said, that final boss energy, right? Like in video games where you have to deal with the final challenge. So you could be in the middle of that. But I think that by the end of the week, if you just give it your all, if you move through it, if you allow yourself to move through it, to face it all head on, to not be afraid to face whatever difficulties might be ahead of you, you're going to open yourself up to this bright, beautiful energy and this new day situation that ultimately is going to lead you to a lot of abundance with this 10 of Pentacles. This is ultimate abundance, physical abundance. It's stability, right? It's about being in a stable place. It's not always just about money. It can mean being in a stable living environment. It can mean about stable health, right? But you have this stability open up to you this week. It's here for you, but it's going to not cost you, that's the wrong word. It's going to require you to move through any kind of challenges that might be lingering on, right? It's like burning through those challenges to open yourself up to the bright new day. But you have all of the tools at your disposal to cut through the noise with the Queen of Swords. You can cut through the noise, you can cut through the nonsense and move into a really stable place. It's really open up for you this week. Even if you have to deal with any of these challenges, if you face them all head on, you open yourself up to this bright, shining new day. And just remember that you're safe through the situation, right? Even if you're facing the most difficult challenges, right? And I'm not saying that it's going to be that hard. I don't know. It's for you in your life. Take it as it resonates. But if it is a difficult situation that you're facing, you have safety here. That's important to keep in mind, that there are, this could even mean, safety from the other side with your guides, your spirit team, your angels, however you conceive of it. You have some safety on the other side here helping you out too. So keep that in mind. But with that Queen of Swords, you can also cut through any of the noise. You can cut through any of the nonsense here and move into a place of stability and calm that is ultimately leading you to this bright new day. So even if you deal with any kind of challenges, you're opening yourself up to this beautiful moment for yourself. So Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope that was helpful. We're going to move on now to Scorpio. Scorpios. Well, let's do a quick shuffle. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. We've got a lot of people here this week, which is good. It's been a stable 5 people the whole time. So I'm really thankful for all of you being here. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, and we're going to move on to Scorpio now. All right, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Scorpio, whoa, flying across the room. Scorpio, what do my Scorpios need to know? Scorpio. Okay, just 3? I think we need more. One more. There it is. All right, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. What's going on with you? You are in a new beginning energy in the mind. No, in passions. This has come up a bunch too. So Scorpio, this week is opening up for you a new beginning, a new start towards following something that you feel really passionate about. This is a great moment for you to maybe do some kind of creative project. For some people, this could be some kind of creative project that you're either starting or continuing to work on, but it's a new beginning in that area with the Ace. So it's sort of something new about the thing. So if you're continuing an old project, maybe you've come to a realization on how to think of it in a new way, but you're bringing in some much needed inspiration into the picture. I feel that for you. This is a new inspiration. You're feeling newly inspired about a situation that you're working on, and this is a great moment for you to do that. Now you have the Magician card here, which is excellent. So with the Magician, this card is letting you know that you can make anything happen. I say that a lot, but it's important to remember that all of us can. But here in particular, for my Scorpios, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, you have all of the tools at your disposal to create and manifest whatever you need for yourself. So whatever you're feeling newly inspired about, you can bring that into your life here. You can bring it in. You can make it happen. Now, with the Six of Swords, you might be moving on from a difficult situation here and moving into something new. I do feel that. This could be about moving in general for some of you. For some Scorpios out there, and moving has been kind of a theme for this week too. So changing up location, I think, is going to be important for all of us here this week. But you have the ability here to change up some of your location energy a little bit, to move on into a bright new moment for yourself. New day, new perspective, new love, new joys. All of that's coming up here for you. Now, I think a part of it is just, it's all flowing from this new inspiration. So you're feeling so newly inspired about a situation that you're going to be able to go out and make things happen. So this is really about taking into consideration all of the things that have happened to you recently and using that to transform yourself into the new place that you're in. With the Three of Wands, you're ready to set sail on this journey as well. I think that you've already worked on the planning stages of this thing. I think that you already kind of have a good plan and idea of what this is. And so now you're getting the inspiration and the oomph to finally go out and push for it, to really go out and make it happen, to take the time and the energy that you have to push forward and make the joy and love and possibilities happen from a really positive place. So this is about taking all of the tools in front of you and using them to catalyze a powerful movement forward for yourself, where you're able to create all that you need for yourself and able to really make this thing happen. So I think this feels like beginning energy, I think, in a project, in an inspiration, in a creative endeavor, of that kind of thing. Is very creative feeling. So something that you're feeling really passionate about. I think that you're still kind of at a beginning phases of this thing, but it's beyond just the idea stage. With the Three of Wands, it's letting you know that you're actually taking physical, concrete steps this week. So this week is kind of where you're implementing your plan of action. You're going forward and taking the steps necessary to start to bring these things into your life more, to work more towards where you're working towards, and finally, like, actually take physical steps in that direction. So this is a powerful week for you to be able to do that and to move forward from a really positive place. So for my Scorpio sun, moon, and rising signs, that's my week for you. I hope that it's helpful, and we're going to move on. So after Scorpio comes Sagittarius, I believe. Sagittarius. Do a quick shuffle. All right. Sagittarius, what do you need to know? Sagittarius. That's funny. All right, Sagittarius, what's going on for you? All right, so some of this stuff, take it as it resonates, but there's some extra messages here for some people that won't resonate with everybody, but that's okay. Take it as it resonates. This is also for your sun, moon, and rising sign, so keep that in mind. But a big thing going on for you is partnerships are huge for you this week. So this could be renewed romantic partnership with somebody that you've been with, or a new romance coming in potentially for some people. But with this, you have it with the Three of Swords. So I think that you're coming out of any kind of brokenhearted energy and coming into a new connection with other people in general. So this very well could be a romantic card for some people, but this could also be partnerships in a business sense or a creative sense. Kristen says, weird, lol. I don't know. Does it make sense for you? Okay. So with that partnership energy here, this could be, sorry, I meant to send that to my sister. Oh, okay. That partnership energy could really be about connecting in to your connections with other people in general, right? So this could be about, working on some kind of creative project with somebody, because you do have a new beginning in the passions. So something passionate, coming in. That's where this could very well be romantic for some people, but like I said, it does not have to be. This is finally finding new inspiration to work with other people on something, particularly one other person, to bring something into the world in a really nice, powerful way that I think is going to be really impactful for you. So this is working one-on-one with someone that's helping you come out of difficult feelings about other people in general that could have happened from friendships or love connections or family dynamics or whatever, that have left you feeling kind of like in a difficult position with others, right? That's leaving you feeling maybe kind of blocked off from being able to connect on a deeper level with other people. Some kind of relationship is coming into your life this week, or is renewing in your life this week, that's going to help maybe alleviate some of that a little bit for you, and give you more confidence in connecting with other people. So you're going to feel more confident to connect in with others on a deeper level that is going to be really impactful for you. Now, that could be a romantic connection, but it could also just mean a creative connection with someone, or some kind of partnership in some capacity. But I think you're going to be doing that. And the energy is moving in the physical world. So it's going to help you build something up. This very well could be business partnership for some people here. Connecting with somebody else and able to bring more stability into everybody's lives around you, that you're going to have the ability, by working with this person, to fully alleviate yourself from any kind of setbacks you may have been through in the past, and coming into a position where you feel more open to being able to work with more people on a deeper level, and to feel this connection level on a more intimate level that ultimately leaves you feeling able to work with more people in the future. And finally, you have the Sun card here. So this is a bright new day for yourself. This is about really feeling like you have the ability to bring in peace and love and joy and connection and possibility for yourself here this week. It's a bright, beautiful day. So I really do think that something is coming in this week to alleviate any kind of sorrows that you've been feeling, and bring you in a position of joy and celebration with other people in a way where you're going to feel really good about yourself. Melissa says, that's my card. All right. Yeah. So anyway, for my Sagittarius is out there, I hope that resonates, and I hope you have an excellent week this week. It looks like it's going to be a really great opportunity for you to move out of any kind of difficult emotions and really connect with other people on a deeper level that might help you feel a sense of renewed love in your life that is really excellent. Whether that's romantic or not, it definitely doesn't have to be. Okay, so next up, I'm just going to do a quick shuffle. We have Capricorn. Kristen says, I'm deceased. That was amazing. I wish I could explain why. And then Melissa says, mind blown. Wow. All right. I'm glad that connected. That's awesome. Okay. So Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This one wanted to come out too. All right. Capricorn. All right, you got a bunch, Capricorn. That's okay. You got a lot to say this week. Okay, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, that's funny. Some of these cards keep coming out. So I think for this one, we'll give it to you. You got the Sun. So just keep in mind, I think this is a collective message for all of us, but I think this week is going to have a lot of opportunities to have a bright, beautiful new day, right? This week is bringing in a lot of new opportunities, which is a good omen for New Year's, right? That maybe we have some good things coming in, hopefully this year. Obviously, I think the world will continue to be the world. So don't take too much stock into external situations, but for your own inner life and your own inner peace, right? There's opportunity for all of us to let the sun and the beauty into our lives. So keep that in mind. This is a bright, beautiful new day for all of us here. So that's an opportunity. Now, for Capricorn, this week is going to be all about... Well, with the Page of Pentacles, we'll start with that one. You are learning how to bring in some stability into your life this week. So this week is going to be all about learning a new way to stabilize your life. This could be learning a new skill, a new job, a new opportunity. It could be you might be going to school for something potentially. I don't know. That just reminded me. I keep having. Does anybody else have reoccurring dreams where you're like, oh, I'm like 2 credits away from graduating college? Even though I graduated college 10 years ago, but I just continuously have that dream. But anyway, it's just reminding me of that, right? You could be learning something new. It could be a new skill, right? But something's going on in your life where you're bringing in something different into your physical world that's changing things up a little bit. Now, that's coming from this position where I think a part of what's going on is you're not letting the small things get to you. And I think this week is really about learning how to transform any kind of difficult thing that life throws you and to make lemonade out of it, right? So some kind of seeming setback may actually be an opportunity for you to change, to move, to do something different this week that could ultimately bring in a lot of peace and abundance and joy into your life. So really take the time to look at all of the seeming setbacks in your life this week and ask yourself, how can you transform those things into something that could work for you, right? And that's difficult for a typical Capricorn. Ah, yeah. Yeah, it can be hard, right? It can definitely be hard because just for anybody to be able to look at something that's challenging and try to see an opportunity in it. And now you do have the Dark Night of the Soul card here as well. So I think that's an important repeat message that we gave to some other people too, which is important to remember that, like, if you're going through something truly terrible, you can allow it to be terrible. It doesn't have to be good, right? We don't have to pretend like this is happening for a reason. And, terrible things happen and they're terrible, right? Now, there is a transformation that you can gain from terrible situations sometimes if you take it from it, right? But like I said, in whichever reading got that one, it doesn't negate the fact that a terrible thing is going on, right? So if you're feeling any of that kind of energy, just keep that in mind, that it's okay to let things be and to not feel good about things, right? It's okay to not feel okay. And that's just really important. Yeah, Kristen says, sounds like some shadow work, baby. Yeah, absolutely. It's totally shadow work stuff, But I think that's a part of where the Temperance card is coming in a little bit different for this particular reading for my Capricorns, is that there is something seeming in your life that seems like it's a negative thing that actually is a positive thing that can be done, that can be taken and changed and transformed and used to your benefit. And I think that maybe from past situations that you've been through, you're viewing this from a lens where you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, or you're thinking that it's all bad because of what's happened before. But there's something that's actually happening here that's really in your personal benefit and is in your opportunity to change and make into something positive. So you really do have that opportunity here. And it's just going to take you learning how to see it from a different perspective, which is not always easy. But I think maybe that's where this learning is coming from with the page as well, is that this is an opportunity for you to learn how to do things differently in your physical world. So it is physically changing how you do things, and where you can change. You have a lot of opportunities ahead of you with the 7 of Cups. And so I think that a part of where maybe this frustration might be coming in of not knowing how to move forward is that you have so many opportunities ahead of you that it might be difficult to figure out which is the right one to move from, which is the right one to choose, what's the right way to go. And so because of that might be a part of where this is going. But I think, with the Ace of Cups, it's showing you that this week you do have the tools at your disposal to just choose one. So don't try to think about every opportunity or every possibility or what this would lead to and what that would lead to. Just choose something. It doesn't really matter what, choose something and take it to completion, because once that's finished, you can choose something else and you can do that till completion. And just know that you have the power to focus on one thing at a time, one day at a time. And it's okay to do that. And that the more that you give yourself the time and the space to be able to do that, the more that things feel easier and better, and it lets things in. And that as soon as you do that too, as soon as you choose just one thing to move towards, you have the The seven of, oh no, it's the chariot. Sorry. You have the chariot ahead of you, which is swift, fast movement towards victory. So you're going to be moving very quickly towards things to become victorious in your life here. And it's just up to you to catapult yourself forward and gallop along the way in order to make that happen. So, Capricorn, I hope that that's a useful and helpful reading for you. I think that you have all of the tools at your disposal to open yourself up to a bright new day, and it's here for you. So open yourself up to that sun energy because it wants to come into your life, and that's that. All right, next up we have Aquarius. So Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. All right, Aquarius, you got a bunch. Let's see, we have a couple more actually. Aquarius. Okay. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, that's okay. Interesting. Couple cards keep popping up. So clearly we have some collective messages. We got the dark night of the soul again, Aquarius. So you might be dealing with some things from the past. You don't have to be in a dark night of the soul period right now, but you got a lot kind of coming up here. Interesting. So I think for you, you may have been through some difficult situations in your past that are leaving you feeling stuck right now. So a part of where, if you're feeling blocked at all, Aquarius, a part of where you're feeling blocked of being able to move forward is that there are some limitations going on in your mind this week that are stopping you from being able to move forward based on difficult situations that you went in your past, because you have the heartbreak card and the dark night of the soul card. So Kim says, hi, Cancy here. Hi, Kim. You can rewind the video right now in the description section. I don't have it, but after this video is done, I will have all of the links to where in the reading they were, but you're welcome to kind of try to rewind the live a little bit to find Cancer. Cancer was the third or fourth reading I did. So it should be pretty close to the beginning if you want to find that. But right now we are on Aquarius and we're almost through these. Okay, so Aquarius, I think that with this Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles energy together, I do feel like this might be past energy, or you could be going through it now. So if you are going through it right now, just hang in there, right? Life happens sometimes, but you have the ability to move through this. But I do feel like a part of this is past energy, and that there's something holding you back right now based on some experiences that you've been in the past. And so this week, I think you're really being given the opportunity to find a way to move through those, because on the other side of this, you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is ultimate abundance. So this ultimate abundance energy is wanting to come into your life. But a part of why it's feeling blocked to you is I think you're feeling overwhelmed by possibilities and not knowing which one to choose, because some of that decisive energy is being locked up in the past for you. So maybe you took decisive steps in the past and it led to some difficult situations. And so now you're feeling very hesitant to move forward. And I'm feeling a lot of blocking of the throat chakra too. So you might be feeling hesitant to speak your truth. And that a part of where you don't know how to move forward here is that you're feeling blocked from actually following your own personal truth because you're afraid of what might happen if you were to do so. But I want to say for you, don't be afraid to be yourself here. I think that's the biggest thing. And that a part of where you can unblock this and just finally choose, if you're going to make a choice this week, choose you, right? Choose yourself. Be in your authentic self and your authenticity. Don't be afraid to be your authentic self this week, Aquarius, because by being fully you in your own authenticity, that is going to lead to this abundance. So follow through with your abundant self. Make all of the steps and moves that you need to make to be in your abundance energy, because it's here for you. It's time for you to be in that abundant self by choosing your authenticity. So make sure that you choose your authenticity. Don't be anybody but you this week, Aquarius. And then as you do that, as you make that choice, as you move through that, I think you alleviate that stuck energy and you move yourself to that abundance. So make sure you're choosing yourself. Make sure you're choosing to be yourself authentically. If that makes other people uncomfortable, that is a them problem. That is not a you problem, right? Be all that you need to be. And that's going to open you up to this beautiful, abundant energy for yourself. So if you feel a little bit blocked from your abundance, you don't know how to move forward, you're a little bit scared, power through, be yourself unquestionably, and that's going to lead to some beautiful moments for you this week and open you up to that abundance because it's here for you. It wants to come in. It's time. It's just going to be about you being all that you can be. So, Aquarius, that was my reading for you. I hope that is helpful. And we are going to move on quickly to Pisces. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising signs. What do my Pisces need to know? Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. All right, Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Let's see what's going on with you. Interesting, Pisces. You have the moon. So with the moon card, I think that you don't fully know what's going on ahead of you. And I think that's important to keep in mind. With the moon, we can just see the next steps. We can't see the whole picture. And that can be really difficult sometimes, right? When we don't know the full picture ahead of ourselves. And so I think that you're being asked to have a little bit of faith and a little bit of trust to make sure that you just take the next step, right? You don't need to know everything going on. You don't need to have a giant plan of everything that you're going to do forever and always. All you need to think about is what is the actionable step that you're working on right now, and how can you take that step? Because you are working towards abundance here. With the Nine of Pentacles, you are taking the steps to build in this beautiful, positive abundance for yourself. Now, this is a solo abundance too. So, I mean, it's not that you can't share it. It's just that you're feeling proud and enjoy in your own private garden with this one. So it's sort of an abundance that you gain and that you build for yourself, and that's okay. So don't feel too bad about being selfish in how you're building your own abundance, right? You can build in for yourself here right now this week, and that's okay. You don't need to know everything that's coming up ahead, and that's all right as well. But the universe is really giving you a gift here. It's giving you an amazing gift that is ready to be taken. But you are focused so much on all of the other things, how things aren't working, all of the things that need to happen, maybe all the big picture things, all of the things going on around. You're only focused on those, and you're not focused on the gift that the universe is giving. And I think that's where the moon card is coming in to give you advice to say, hey, just focus on the next step that you know you need to make. Don't focus on anything else. And as much as you can do that, as much as you can continue to focus on just the next little few steps, the more you're going to feel safe and secure and ready to move forward. Now, you have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups here. So a part of this process that you're working on, Pisces, is learning how to do things differently. And that's huge. So really be open to learning new things. This is student energy, double students. So being really open this week to being in the student energy is going to be so helpful for you. And you're a student in your own happiness. You're learning how to be happy. So that's important to keep in mind, you know, that this process of pursuing happiness, 222 on the clock. This process, and 111 on the clock. Ooh, angel messages for you, Pisces. Cool. So with that Page of Cups, you know, the Page of Cups is like learning in the emotional sphere, learning how to have happiness, learning how to be happy. And with the Page of Pentacles, it's learning how to bring in abundance into your life. So this is kind of like learning how to be happy at work, I think is really going to be big for you. Learning what does it take for you to be happy in work situations, in physical situations. What kind of place and house and life and surroundings do you need to be happy? And being okay with doing the steps necessary to make that happen is going to be pretty huge for you this week. So take the time and the energy that is needed to bring in that for yourself this week. And I think the more that you do that, the more you're going to be feeling really good about where things are going. So you don't need to see all of the steps ahead of you to move forward. You know which steps you can take. So go ahead and take those steps in order to move in a positive direction for yourself, because ultimately that's going to lead you to exactly where you need to be. So Pisces, sun, moon, and rising, that's my reading for you. We're going to move on now to the collective. Now, as we move on from that, I'm also going to open the floor to a few little personal readings. Now, I've been giving these out for free, and I will continue to do that for a little bit, but I just want to let everybody know that sometime within this new year, probably pretty soon into January, I'm going to be opening these up for donation at first, and then I might be charging a flat fee for them. But we're going to do donation-based next week, I think. So next week, these will be little donation-based. You can give however much you want to give. That's fine, because these are just little mini messages. But they'll be open for donation next week. But this week, it's an open free readings. So if you want a quick little mini reading, please let me know in the chat right now. We have 5 viewers. If any of you would like a quick little mini reading for me, go ahead and say yes, and please put your question in the comment as well. The questions really do help me out to give you a good reading. So go ahead and say yes and give me a question if you would like one. Kristen says yes. All right, Kristen, you're up first, so go ahead and let me know what you want, and we'll get there in a moment. But first, I'm just going to open the floor to the general reading. What do we all need to know? What does the collective need to know? What does the collective need to know this week? Okay. Collective needs to know a lot, apparently. Okay, collective. What do we need to know collectively this week? And if you would like a mini private reading or personal reading, not private, it'll be public. Mini personal reading, let me know in the comments. Kristen, you're up first. If anybody else wants one, please let me know. Go ahead and also put your question in the chat as well. That's helpful. Okay, so collective. Collectively, balance. Yep, balance is big. This one came up a bunch. So we just make sure that you are holding in a good balance for yourself this week. That's going to be really important. You know, any seeming setbacks might be coming in with this Temperance card, might be opportunities to change and transform into something else. So listen to yourself too. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling like you're doing too much, that could be a teaching moment for you to learn how to change and do things differently. So if you're feeling, listen to your body, listen to your feelings, listen to your emotions, listen to everything, and try to open yourself up to a positive direction to move forward. Now, the moon card came up for Pisces. It's coming up again here. If you are in a position where you don't see everything ahead of you, that's fine. The most important thing is to just take the next step forward. So if you can see the next step ahead of you, just take that one step, because as soon as you take that step, the step after that will become clear. And that's all you need to know. You don't need to know everything. When you see the next step, you take the next step, and then see the next step, take the next step. As soon as you see it, take it, because it's here in the moment. And if you can continue that, siren outside for confirmation. If you can continue this cycle of being in the here and the now and just taking one step at a time, that's what's going to get you in the direction. You don't need to see everything ahead of you. Just take the next step, because then the next step will come. And if you're feeling lost, open your perspective to what the next step is and just do that. And it will start to fall into place. Now, the 10 of Pentacles shows that there's a real opening for abundance for all of us here. So that's excellent. So open yourself up to the process of abundance energy. Abundance is feeling stability. It's stability in the physical world. So we have opportunities to feel stability that might not have anything to do with money. So keep that in mind as well, right? This doesn't have to be about money. Stability can come in many different ways. So just be open to stability coming in however you want. And as soon as we do that, I think, we've got the Chariot coming in for victory. Page cards, be open to learning new things and being in a student mindset. That came up a bunch. With the Page of Wands, learn new ways to follow your inspirations, and don't be afraid to learn how to think of things differently. This could be mindfulness practices. That came up a bunch this week as well. Meditation practice. If you can do any kind of meditation practice for yourself, that can be so helpful in learning how to come back into a presence with the mind and being comfortable in the self, in the here and the now. Finally, we have the King and Queen of Cups. So really, really, really make sure you're sharing compassion with yourself this week and sharing compassion around you. That's going to be really helpful in bringing in a positive environment for yourself moving forward. Share compassion with yourself. That's going to be huge. All right, we're going to open up now to the little personal mini readings. So Kristen says, will my book, the first book in the series, be published or ready for publishing within the next 18 months? Also, will the series get published in the traditional sense eventually? Okay, let's see a timeline, and then we'll see publisher. We'll just do real quick little mini Oh, that's too many. I'm sorry. I can't do that many. Okay, do that again. 18 months. 18 months. Okay, and then traditional publishing or otherwise. How is it going to be published? Okay. So happy you're going to take donations. Oh, yeah. Well, and I'm about to open up my private readings as well for purchasing through the website. I've just been working on how to update my website and sell things better. So that's coming in January as well. So I'll be opening more detailed readings. These are just quick little minis. I do much bigger readings, much more in depth, than we can do one-on-ones and stuff. So really quick, in the next 18 months, we have the 8 of Swords, which is being stuck, and the 7 of Swords, which is weird two things from other people. I don't know if it will be published in the next 18 months because of that stuck energy. So it might not. And keep that in mind. There might be a reason why it's not, right? Particularly with this, other people energy, just, be careful. It might not, there might be some different things that need to happen, and it might not be in the next 18 months. I tried to get Melissa one for Christmas. Oh yeah. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that they're not open on my website yet, but I'm definitely going to be opening them up quite soon. So you're also always welcome to reach out to me too through email, which I can give you here. If you want to email me, you're welcome to as well. And we can work it out from there. But that's my email. Okay. Yeah, so maybe not the next 18 months, but let's see about traditional publishing. King of Pentacles, that's there's definitely a lot of abundance coming from this, which is a good sign. But you also have the 5 of Swords, which means like kind of in a stuck stalemate energy. So it's possible that it won't be traditional publishing, but that doesn't mean that it won't be successful either. Definitely listen to the High Priestess. So listen to your intuition. I think your intuition is going to be really huge in this situation. So it's going to be up to you, right? I know that's not helpful in what you want to hear, but I would say, maybe what it is. It could be like finding the right publisher. Could be listen to your heart in that. That there's opportunities to find the difference between that. Now with the 9 of Wands as well, this is about waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I think stay with the one you're going to know what's going to help you find the most abundance. So listen to your intuition on that and choose that. Whether at the time it feels like it's going to be traditional publishing or not, listen to the intuition more than listening for the other shoe to drop. Right? Does that make sense? I hope that's helpful. All right. So that was for Kristen. Sorry, it's a quick little minis, but we'll be doing more later on. So does anybody else want a quick little reading? Kristen says, I wasn't sure I wanted to go traditional. It's not complicated. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Melissa, hi, GP. Thanks for the messages today. We really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Melissa, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Does anybody else want a quick little mini? I'd be happy to give a little mini. Anybody? Last call. All right. That's it for me this week. I will be opening up the floor next week, and I'll probably be asking for donations next week, but those can be pretty small. Kristen, you straight up answered my initial question in the Leo reading. All right. Well, that's great. Okay, Kristen, that's awesome. All right, everybody. I hope you have an excellent week ahead. Happy New Year to everybody. It'll be the new year this week. So I hope you have an excellent New Year's. And I will see you all next week as well. Please keep an eye out for the pick a card readings. There'll be a bunch of those. I have some mini readings going through the shorts as well. There'll be plenty of shorts and mini readings popping up this week as well. So you can watch out for that. I also have an in-depth TikTok channel that's starting. So if any of you are on TikTok, you're welcome to find me there. I'm going to put that here in the chat. Kristen says, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the States. Thank you. I appreciate it. So my TikTok is at junodrome.intuiti, like intuition, but no ION, just INTUITI, intuiti. Yeah. That's my TikTok handle. You're welcome to follow me there too. It's pretty much mostly repeat content, but I can do the shortest readings that I do for you in 1 minute. I do in like 5 to 10 minutes over there. So it's a little bit more in depth. But yeah, trying to grow all the platforms I can while I can. So anyway, everybody, I hope you have an excellent week ahead, and I will catch you in the next one.